Professor Sharp will never let me live this down.
Professor Sharp will never let me live this down.
Professor Sharp must have learned a lot during his time as an Auror. I wish he talked about it more.
How am I meant to concentrate on potions when Professor Sharp is so intimidating?
I saw an aura badge on Professor Sharp's desk. I bet he knows more than he's letting on about the Goblin Rebellion. I truly believe Professor Sharp would poison anyone foolish enough to ask about his leg. Professor Sharp said that Wiggenweld Potion can treat injuries. Hope I never need it.
Why Aesop refuses to let me lecture a potions class is absolutely beyond me. Aesop Sharp would get a lot further with his students if he didn't terrify them all.
I wish my son would practice. Seems he's more interested in how to impress his potions professor than play a sport.
I'd rather Howin be teaching potions than Sharp. I don't like how often he mentions common poisons. It's like he's planning something. What? It's not implausible. If you pay attention, Sharp has plenty of useful advice regarding antidotes. I think people are too hard on him myself. I wish teachers wouldn't ask us questions in class. I'm always tongue-tied, unless it's Professor Garlick, or I suppose Weasley, or an I. Thinking about it, it's really just Sharp. Ugh, I can't wait to have a nap in front of the fire in the common room later. After Sharp's last class, I've earned it. Professor Sharp asked me what the ingredients are for an Ali Hotsy draft, and I could not stop giggling. Most embarrassing. And appropriate, I suppose.
Apparently Sharp made quite an example of her. Professor Sharp terrifies me. He glanced sideways at me last week and I almost dropped an entire flobberworm into my cauldron.
I'd like to see your parents' faces when they see your marks at the end of term. Perhaps you should work on your polyjuice potion so you can pay them a visit as Sharp and lie yourself silly about how marvellous you are and how you exceeded expectations.
Have you ever had a cauldron leak? I didn't think it was possible. And then one minute, I was stirring, and the next, I was swimming in wolfsbane potion. Sharp almost threw his wand at me, I swear. Turned out, I just spilt my flask. Wasn't my fault.
Sharp was in a mood the other day. Not a single student got their sleeping draft right, and he vanished the contents of every cauldron in the room with one cast.
I don't know why Sharp's always referring to standard ingredients. Nothing is standard. Who's walking around with mistletoe berries?
Have you ever noticed in potions that the girl who sits in the corner almost always nearly melts her cauldron? I find it quite disconcerting, and Sharp doesn't even raise an eyebrow. Yet I drop one nettle too many and I get the stare of the basilisk. I'd swear we'd be more uplifted in potions if it were taught by Dementors.
I took my copy of 1000 Magical Herbs and Fungi to Herbology and I left it in the greenhouse by the mandrake seedlings. Sharp was horrified I didn't have it for his class. Said I need to get my priorities straight. I find if I try to look attentive in potions, it seems to keep Sharp off my back. It works quite well unless he asks me a question, and then it's not really a good plan at all. Overall, I probably wouldn't recommend it. I heard some chat near the girls' lavatory about boomslang skin. Do you think they're looking to brew a polyjuice potion? Oh, what if they already brewed one? And Sharp's actually that Hufflepuff girl with the long arms. Sharp caught me making faces behind his back. It was awful, not to mention losing so many house points. Everyone seems to fear Professor Sharp, not me. I think the man's brilliant. Only barked at me twice this week for singeing my ropes. I was trapped on the grand staircase for an hour the other day waiting for it to move. Sharp didn't believe me when I told him why I was late.
Why are we only learning all the boring potions? When are we learning Felix Felicis? Knowing Sharp, he'll probably teach it after we've done our exams.
You're not still fretting about your potions essay, are you? Sharp gave me an A, and it was barely half an inch.
Sharp didn't think much of it at all. Well, I will, won't I? Doesn't matter anyway. Not like Sharp thinks much of anybody's work.
That was for an assignment from Sharp. Oh, shut up. Sharp likely sees you can barely keep a cauldron upright.
She is the prettiest professor, I'll give you that. As pretty as Sharp is handsome. I say, we let him be the one to cast the trick jinx on Sharp.
Sharp's a horrid choice. We might hurt him more than he already is.
You blithering moonmind, that's my essay for Sharp!
Sharp? As in Professor Aesop Sharp? The most crotchety potions teacher anyone's ever met?
Pfft, I don't think so. I mean, I dare say I could let it sit on my desk in potions one day. Keep Sharp at bay.
No, I suppose not. Although, if we're talking about Sharp's class...